This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Feig.
And this your co-host, Colin Moore. You know, we loving life and enjoying football.
We got a top-notch director of football operations on today. She does it for Stetson, the Hatters, the university, baby, down there in D-Land, Florida. And she comes by way of NCCU, North Carolina Central. And if y'all don't know, that's one of the top HBCUs, the Eagles. They just came off a big weekend, the Aggie Eagle Classic. And she's familiar with big-time football anyway. And she's going to help young men become even better in their careers and lives. And today we're going to learn a lot more about Miss Perry. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Simo bring her on.
How you doing, Miss Perry?
I'm doing awesome. How are y'all? Thank you
Great.
for having me.
Hey, we definitely appreciate you coming on. So, you know me, I got to get right on into it. Like, to get to that DFO spot, that director of football operations, it's a blessing in itself, and I know it's a grind. So, I would love to hear where yours started at. Like, did you initially love football from day one, or, you know, how did you get to this point?
Well, I grew up around football all my life. I have an uncle that's been coaching in the league about 30 years now. So all I know is football. Watching him every Sunday and, watching him grind, it kind of inspired that spark in me I want to do something with football. I initially went to the lovely, illustrious North Carolina Central University for athletic training, but actually ended up changing my major. Things don't always work out as we plan. As we all know, as we've all been there. And I ended up changing my major and I took a sports business class. And it kind of, opened up this whole new world to me because up until that point, I didn't know anything about the operational part of football. We just watch football and we just see, they show up, they play. We have no idea what happens before or after that. Like, how did they get there? Do they eat? All those things. So just sitting in that sports business class really introduced me to this. And from there, I kind of hit the ground running and started, emailing and reaching out to different DFOs, asking them, what exactly is your job? What exactly is it that you do? And my mentor, Travis Taylor, actually ended up responding to my email very quickly. And I always like to say, the rest is history from there. He brought me in, coached me up. Till this day, I still call him and he still gives me any advice that I may need. And ever since then, I've been getting it done.
Now, it's amazing how God had you going one way and then you turned and went another and been soaring ever since. So,
oh, yes.
With this new spot in Florida, how you liking it?
Oh, I love it. I love Florida. It's beautiful down here. The humidity is definitely high.
It is.
So, just trying to adjust to that a little bit. I'm originally from North Carolina, so it's not too different. But just, you walk out at 6:00 in the morning, that humidity just slaps you in the face and you're like, oh my gosh, what is really going on? But I love it down here. It's beautiful. The weather is nice for the most part. You have a couple of rainy days here and there, but it's all worth it.
All right, man, y'all, we hearing some great information from Miss Perry. And like I say, she doing a great thing for the Hat Attack right now. But I want to learn a little bit more about you, Miss Perry. So how was it for you growing up, like far as with your family, and who helped you to become the person that you are today?
I have a great family. I always like to brag about my family because they're amazing. They've supported me from day one. Anything that I've decided that I wanted to do, they're always in my corner. Who inspired me? My mom. My mom got it done. And she's always been that rock and like I said, holding me down, supporting me through it all. And, it's hard, it gets frustrating sometimes. And she's always there, to give me encouraging words, give me a prayer. And, let me know that I can keep going, don't stop, you know, what the goal is, what you have to do to get there. So just keep going for it. Don't let anybody get in your way. But yes, I have an awesome family. My mom is wonderful. My dad is amazing. I have a little brother who plays football now, and then a beautiful young daughter that I have as well. So just having all of them, behind me, supporting me is awesome. I do what I do, and I always have my daughter in mind because I am a woman in a male dominant field. And I feel like I'm breaking down barriers for her to let her know, hey, you can do it and you can excel at it, and don't let anybody stop you.
So I gotta know we're going to North Carolina Central. See, I went to Alabama State, so I'm a HBCU alumni as well. So far as with you going to North Carolina Central, I know y'all hate them Aggies. And I know it's real strong for y'all alumni base, and I love y'all stadium, even the uniforms. So how was it going to North Carolina Central as far as your experience?
It was amazing. I'm gonna be honest. Before I went to North Carolina Central, I really didn't know too much about HBCUs. Um, and of course, now it's the thing. We're pushing it. For all of our people, to hey, go to HBCU. So when I got there, I just I was like, okay, this is cool. This is nice, and it's not really where I wanted to be initially. So I kind of had that wall up. Um, but by second semester of my first year, oh, I was all in. I was all in. I said, oh yeah, this is great. At North Carolina Central, we have 10:40 breaks on Tuesday and Thursday. So, you go out to the Greek Bowl, they got the DJ, they got the food trucks. I mean, it's just crazy out there. So, as it's time progressed and I really started to appreciate and understand my HBCU. It's a part of me now. Anybody asks me, well, where did you go to school? Oh, I went to the illustrious, North Carolina Central University, with equal pride. Even though, I'm not there with them anymore, I support them through and through. I'm always going to pull for them, I'm always going to cheer for them. And, hopefully, we make it to Atlanta this year.
Hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. Now, with you being the DFO and you handling business day in and day out, how is it with helping the players, like them getting to know you, you getting to know them, and just going through your day-to-day operations?
Um, well, so, well, here, I just started at Stetson University about maybe 2 weeks ago. So I came in the middle of the season. The season already got going. So it was a little challenging, kind of trying to get in and get settled, basically the business part. But it's always important for me to make sure the guys know that I'm here. I'm another person in your corner. I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to vouch for you. Whatever you need, I got you. And so I put a candy bowl in my office now so that when the guys walk by, of course, everybody wants a little piece of candy. So, they're going to stop in. And I always say, hey, that's going to cost you. And they look at me kind of crazy, like, what you mean, Miss Perry? Like, what you mean it's gonna cost me? I'm like, tell me your name, where you're from and what position you play, and give me a fun fact about you. So that way, um, I can start learning you and get to know you. So, like I said, this is week 2. I've had a couple of guys, pop in my office, and the head coach here, Brian Young, has been really good about sending guys to me for any things that they have going on, so that that way they get comfortable, with communicating with me and dealing with me on a daily basis now. And like I said, I would definitely have liked to done that during camp. It's a little more time to be able to, for them to get to know you, for me to get to know them. But middle of the season, we're full swinging, and I'm learning. I see them walk by and I'm like, hey, please tell me your name. I'm so sorry. But I'm getting there. I got about half the roster down. And like I said, it's only week 2, so making some progress.
Well, you're doing good just for week 2 now, and I mean, cause for anybody who haven't been around a football program, it's a lot of moving parts, especially in college. And to
Hmm.
understand during the season to actually make a build a relationship and familiarize yourself with what's going on, that takes a lot. And your job consists of a lot. So if you could give us a little breakdown of some of the things that you may do from day to day.
Um. Ooh, wow. That's you got time? um. Well, mostly most people associate the director of football operations with travel, and they are correct. My hands are tied into pretty much any and everything that goes on within the program. Nothing moves or nothing happens without my knowledge. And for the most part, without my say. Of course, that's with the head coach extending me that privilege, to do that and that authority to, say yes or no. So it comes down to, like right now, I'm looking at hotel contracts, reading over them, making sure they have, the right amount of rooms that we need, meeting spaces, going over our meals. Um, the fine things, even down to what temperature are the rooms going to be when we get there. Because again, these are some big guys, and you have about 20 of them in the room, and it can start getting a little warm in there. So just paying attention to small details. Making sure, like I said, the temperature in the room is right. Making sure our athletic trainers have their treatment room set up with tables and towels and ice. Making sure it's something as again simple as the keys being set up correctly when we get there. Dealing with bus companies, making sure we have buses to transport us to the airport to pick us up from the airport on the opposite end. Like you said, it's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces, and you have to touch every part. And if you miss one thing, it can really cause a havoc in a trip. And if you're a pretty decent DFO, you can kind of cover up, any mishaps that have happened. But again, it's just about being having your hands in a little bit of everything. I deal with from a university standpoint. I deal with academics, compliance. I'm the housing liaison as well. I deal with the CAF, for any meals that they might cater for us. And as far as anything outside of the program, when we have outside caterers, so we love Chick-fil-A down here. So dealing with those different entities, coach likes to have a Sunday night meal. So that's another restaurant that I have to communicate with and set up. So it's just all about knowing your team and knowing what they like, knowing what they don't like, knowing the amount of food that they need, because again, these some big boys, they got to eat. They'll eat you out of house and home if you let them. So it's definitely about just keeping up with them and making sure that they're comfortable. It's all about giving the guys the D1 experience. So that when they leave here, they can say, when they reflect back on their football days, they can say, hey, you know what? I had an awesome time at Stetson University. We flew charter. We were dressed to the T. I don't know if y'all saw our pictures from this past weekend,
I saw it.
but I got us suited and booted in that green blazer. Um,
Hmm.
and it's again paying attention to those details. They had to tie the match. Down to their shoes. I mean, those guys looked awesome. So, all of that is a part of being in, being in the D1 program, playing for a D1 program, and that's what I'm here for. To make sure that they have that super superior D1 experience.
And see, what a lot of people need to know as well, there's a lot going on. Like I just said, and I said it right before she said it. I mean, when they're talking, it's a lot of moving parts because they just went to New Jersey this past
Mm-hmm.
weekend and they took a flight there. So you got to think about it. You got food that may be provided on the flight. You got the guys getting off the flight, getting on the bus, getting off the bus to the hotel, trying to go get in the meetings. Then they got to get food once they're at the hotel. They got a place they're gonna walk through, probably at the hotel or another location. Then you gotta wake up, have another meeting, and go from the hotel to the game. So it's a lot of moving parts. So I just want everybody to realize what she was talking about. And this is real good information because a lot of people may not understand quite why, okay, you don't really have that many females in a position like this. And I think this is perfect for anybody but especially, ladies, because y'all are strategic and precise with a lot of things. And it's just like my mama, she don't play with a lot of stuff when I was growing up. Hey, it had to be
Right.
done a certain way. Even though, some stuff I could look at and be like, "Well, I ain't gotta put the thing right here like that." No, you gotta put it like this. And that's just how y'all are. And that's a good thing to me. And I think most schools should look at doing stuff like that because it's gonna help the program overall run real tight and smooth. Now, my last question for you is if you can give any advice to a young person out there to inspire them to find something that they want and kind of give some encouragement to them or something that you may have to deal with far as your career.
That's a really great question. Tell to tell people, um, never give up. You know, you know what your end goal is. You know what the big picture is. Don't let anybody deter you from that. Everybody can't see what you see. They don't know what you know, and they don't feel what you feel. I always say to be in football, you have to love it. Just because the long hours that you're putting in, we work, every day. Um, so you have to love it. You have to have a passion for it. But that goes with anything, that someone decides that they want to do. You have to make sure you love it. Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. My uncle told me that when I was 8 years old, and that's what I live by to this day. Um, so to the young people, do what you love. Again, don't let anybody deter you from what you have your eyes set on. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. I've, had a couple individuals in the past tell me that, oh, I would never work in football because I was a woman. And that came from another woman, unfortunately. Here I am, um, holding a very high position, within a football program, which is the director of football operations. I'm the right hand to the head coach. So, take any negativity you get and you turn it into positivity, let it fuel you. Um, Again, stay focused and you know what your goal is. And you just have to remind yourself of that every day because every day there's going to be a challenge. Every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to go as planned. But as long as you know what you want to do, what your heart is set on, what your mind is set on, there's nothing that anybody can say or do that'll take you off that. So, grind, stay focused, stay determined, and I promise you, you'll get to where you want to go.
Well, y'all heard it, man. That's my Andrea Perry. And she's doing her thing right now for Stetson the Hatters, baby, down here in Florida, D-Land. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not getting no great information from all the rap music or all the foolishness you're listening to, go listen to some of these podcasts because you're going to get inspired. You're going to learn a lot. And this is going to give you a path to success, not just in football, but in life. And I want to thank Miss Perry again for coming on. And I want to wish her a great career and another great week. And I'm going to leave y'all how I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. It's the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next
Day to
time.
live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.